Hi again, wrestling fans, and welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter, being joined as always by Commissioner Rick Diesel and Hall of Famers Brian and Reagan Danzig and Reagan Danzig. Oh boy, tongue tied in the first 30 seconds. Boy, this is going to be a wild one.
Gonna be a good one.
You'll be screwed.
Yeah. So breaking news, not really. We talked about it last week. There's no longer an audio version of the podcast. And I am so glad of that. Actually, I was sad about it. Rick Diesel will tell you, a little bit sad about it a couple of days ago. But I'm so glad we are all video now because Rick Diesel, we've got quite the different look tonight. I would say.
I am celebrating us going. Well, no, not actually. No, it's like I told you guys before we went live. When you get my age and you and the sun goes down, you start getting ready for bed.
You just look like an insane person. That's all it looks like, an insane person. I don't.
Oh, flattery.
I mean, like, I'm always in pajama pants. Like, as soon as I get home, things come off and pajama pants go on, but never towel heads that much. Like, you don't even have that much hair anymore. Like, maybe if you had the mullet, I would understand, but not.
That is true.
I don't know. To each their own.
Elbow. I mean, when you got a wet head and it is getting.
I know, and it runs down. See, it runs down your back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets your collar all wet. It's irritating.
And
I don't care how long your hair is.
You wear a hat most of the time, but I don't know. So I don't know. But if you're like me and it's getting a little thin on the crown,
well, yeah,
it gets colder. I mean, you are more sensitive to stuff like that. So anyway, now that you guys know why Rick Diesel is wearing a towel, we can talk about some wrestling. And a bathrobe. I still got on my shoes. See, I still got on pants tonight. That's not a normal thing with the show, but just a little peek behind the weather. No, I'm not sitting here like in the nude or nothing, but I'm usually wearing like pajamas or something. But anyway, so now that all that personal shit's out of the way, do y'all want to talk about some wrestling? Hence the name of the show, AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Did anybody?
Yeah, but I wish that you had a better signal or something. But and that all the time.
Okay, so it's him. It's not us. I figured it's
it's Matt. He's choppy.
See, y'all are perfectly clear to me. So
it's weird.
It is weird.
Well, you're fine now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I won't move. I won't touch nothing.
Okay.
So
let's talk wrestling then.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Jinky's streaming a movie or something and they're throttling my internet. Who knows? But anyway, so big week in wrestling for us in the AIWF. It's coming down to it. It's almost Thanksgiving time. And we're going to be back in Mount Airy this Saturday night. Special bell time of 5 o'clock. I do have a graphic. I'll put it up later. But the winter hours start now. So from now until probably March.
Yeah.
We'll be starting at 5 o'clock. So make sure you adjust your
schedule. I don't know what time the anniversary show will start, but it is slated. It has been announced that the anniversary show will be the first weekend in March this year. They had to be a big anniversary show.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What? Do we have a date?
I don't know. What's the first weekend in March?
I don't know.
Hang on.
The 7th?
Second and third, something like that.
Hang on. I'm looking at the calendar. It will be the second and third.
Yeah. It's a 2-day weekend. So
yeah, most of them are.
Oh, and speaking of interesting show tidbits, there is rumors. That's all they are right now. Rumors about next year's deal with the Steel in August.
Already rumors?
Rumors.
A year? Wow.
Rumors.
Well,
Matt, continue.
Well, you can't leave us hanging.
Rumors.
You can't leave us.
Rumors.
Yeah, but you got to give us a little bit of something.
Rumors.
So, in other words, whatever you're hearing out there on the internet is probably not true. I think it's
or it could be.
Or it could
Lindsey
be.
Buckingham is going to have his retirement match deal with the steel. Okay.
Who's that?
Lindsey Buckingham.
The drummer for Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. No, Lindsey Buckingham played guitar. Mick Fleetwood played drums.
Okay.
See, I got a world of knowledge in this thing.
I got a cousin of mine that I probably shouldn't have said that much. I've got a funny story about Mick Fleetwood. I had a relative used to tell me, you know what? I don't know how to ease into this because what I wanted to talk about, I don't know how to do this easily.
Just say it.
The NWA cocaine scandal is what it says on the internet.
Yes, I saw that. Like,
yeah, just jump right in, Matt. You ain't quite. Are you just hindered now that you're not on audio? I can. No. I didn't know how to ease into it, and because I'm not going to show a clip because we'll get popped for copyright and maybe something else, but I will snip this picture and put it up on the screen. God don't mind.
You know,
hello. I'm
on
on live with Matt and Reagan and Brian. Where are you at?
You better give a shit about it. We advertise for you.
You ain't got no copy paper for your printer. How's that my problem?
It's called Amazon. 2 clicks and it's yours.
Well, you're going to have to wait till this show's over or send Ty down here to get it.
I can't. He's dealing with children.
Oh.
Well, what are you doing then besides
Matt says, what are you doing then?
I did not say, I do not agree with what Matt Carter said.
She is okay. This will go into one of your sponsorship ads later, Matt. She's straightening up and cleaning up the t-shirt room.
Oh, okay. All right. We've got new pictures for that.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on.
Where's my snipping tool going?
What is she doing?
I don't know.
Look, right after we start talking about cocaine, don't never put your face out of the screen.
Yeah.
I didn't want everybody to hear me yelling at my children.
Well,
okay. What was you gonna say, Ray?
They're at that age, they'll probably need it, so go ahead, yell away.
Oh God, yes.
T-shirt room.
Wait, what? Is she still on the phone?
Yeah.
I was just saying I didn't agree with what Matt said there at the beginning. I believe that Trista works very, very hard and that she needs a break from her children every once in a while, just like every mother.
And that, my friends, is how you pay for nachos.
Bone cold.
Oh, I'm sorry. Deep fried cheesecake.
Deep fried cheesecake.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I was just grateful to get a free pickle once, so I'm happy.
You can explain that to someone that doesn't have kids.
She's coming for you, Matt.
I could care less. It wouldn't be the first time of the last time. We've endured over all these years. But all right, folks. So what I'm about to put up on the screen is.
He'll understand.
Wait.
He said when Matt and Jinky has their own kids, there he'll understand.
That ain't happening.
Ooh, Matt says no. Sorry, ain't happening.
No, ain't happening.
Brian and I said the same thing.
All right, bye.
All right, here it
See
is.
the life I lead? This is the life I lead. I thought you couldn't show a clip.
I'm not going to show a clip. We're going to look at a still.
What gets me is because there's still going to be rumor is that there's going to be on the app and that they're going to do a show and a reality show on the app. My first thing, I didn't even realize CW had an app. Like I didn't even that was just.
Ain't there a CW app on Roku?
Probably, but it's not one that I would like. Hey, I'm gonna go get the CW app. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just, but considering the rumor mill is that now this was just CW's way of getting rid of them because now NXT is going to be on CW.
Yes, they are.
That did happen awful quick.
So people are saying that they're just using this as an excuse. And then the other rumor mill is that there was never a deal anyway. Billy Corgan was not telling the truth. and there was never a deal on the table. So there's this whole like all these little stories, but this was, and I read that Billy Corgan is the one who pushed for this.
Yeah,
that he pushed for this backstage, whatever. What do they call theirs?
oh no, it was in the arena.
Yeah.
It's happened in the arena behind the ringside.
That's right, because if you watch the video, they go to it. That's right.
Yeah.
It's just in such bad taste. I mean, it's not like saying somebody's smoking weed. Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like this is insane. It's insane.
Well,
wait a minute, let me just refresh just in case the audience doesn't know what we're talking about. Like you can actually see this. This is from an NWA pay-per-view that happened last weekend, I think.
Yeah, it was Samhain or Samhain, or I don't know how they
said some
it.
Celtic holiday to celebrate the harvest. You know, it's old country Halloween, let's call it that. And anyway, so they did this thing where they said we're going to go to James Vandenberg and they're partying, and it looked like they were doing cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm sure they weren't. I'm sure that was not, I would hope to God, well, you know, Billy Corgan is a rock star. So, I mean, I'm sure it's readily available, but seems kind of insane to do something like that on live television. And the NWA is always supposed to be like a throwback, because I don't ever remember seeing Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard doing coke.
No, like the most you would get is the innuendo in promos, not of drug use, but like drinking, and you know, they would say she's coming around the mountain when she comes, and things like that. There were innuendo that you could say, okay, well, he's not really saying what, you know, that they're doing, you know, but like, and then they talk about like, but just, I don't know. It's like, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan. Huge.
Me too.
Huge. I've seen him in concert. I love them. I love the way Billy Corgan is at the con. I feel like but his ego, you can just, is huge. And to think, and that this is an appropriate thing to do, especially when you're about to be on broadcast television. I mean, like if he was on Spike, or I don't even know if Spike's still around. That's how little I watch cable television. But you know, like
it's got another name now.
Yeah, whatever it's called now. Like if it was on that, or if it's on FX, you know, somewhere where they're, you know, lenient because, you know, or whatever reasons. But this is just one bad decision after another.
This was on pay-per-view, and so I think maybe he thought he could get away with it. Dutch Mantell said on his podcast earlier this week, talking about wrestling, this brings taking a bump to a whole different level, and I really got that. So if you know,
I understand being controversial. I understand wanting to be. You were going to say something, and I interrupted you. Go ahead, go.
No, you.
Well, see, I think.
I did. I'm sorry.
I think Billy Corgan got his wrestling audience and his Smashing Pumpkin audiences mixed up.
Yeah, because if
he may have thought that the rockers, you know what I'm saying, the rock star fans were watching the NWA. And in CW's defense, they have to be very careful, you know, because remember, they had a sex trafficker as a star of one of their shows for years.
Who's that?
Allison Mack.
Oh, you talking about the Nexium?
Yeah, she got busted for getting that dude women and branding them and stuff like that. She got convicted of that.
Look it up, folks. Yeah, but you know, and it's tough for me. Like, I get like the rock and roll audience and everything. I like Smashing Pumpkins too. One of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. Smashing Pumpkins. They came out there and played for us for damn near 2 hours. So, I got no beef with the, you know, Billy Corgan as far as his music goes, but like the wrestling audience, it's kind of like, this is when the NWA started up before the pandemic. It was nothing like, you know, you wouldn't dream of seeing anything like this on there. And I don't know why maybe they just did it to generate some publicity to let people know that they're there. If that's the case, then great. But you lost it. If you've lost this network TV deal, and I heard the thing, Reagan, about the app. I don't know why CW would even put them on the app at this point, especially after they bring it on WWE for NXT in 2025.
But if NXT's coming, WWE will make damn sure that there is no NWA anywhere near anything with. So they won't even be able to have commercials on there.
Yeah,
because you know how protective WWE is.
Oh, well, predatory.
But I have another question, because if you guys have been keeping up with this, is it the CW that made the big stink, or was it fans?
I don't know.
Because how did the fans take it? That's my question.
Twitter, according to what I've read, Twitter kind of lit up on fire while the pay-per-view was going on, people saying it was in poor taste and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure people were tagging CW in it. But see, the only thing about this is like Yahoo reported on it, but the rest of the reports, I just Googled it, are a bunch of wrestling fan websites. And you can't trust those people. I mean, you can't even trust Meltzer. You can't even trust Meltzer anymore.
Satire.
Bullshit, is what it really is. I mean, so you don't know if what you're reading is true. But I think it was, you brought up who was it that brought up the point that Billy Corgan, there's rumors that he may have just been lying about that TV deal?
Yeah, that's what I had read also.
Yeah.
It's a possibility it wasn't even on the table.
Well, I've got another question.
I didn't know about that. That makes me wonder, because I had heard that he was really pushing for that in the segment. And I'm wondering if he's like, okay, I've said we're getting ready to be on broadcast TV when we're not. I need to do something to be like, oh, they got mad about the cocaine thing. The deal's off now.
That's coincidental. And the NXT thing.
I mean, those two things. It's pretty big coincidence that he was pushing really hard for that. And then like, oh, well, the network saw it, got mad. We're not doing the deal anymore. We had the deal. Now we're not. Now we don't.
Mm.
And what gets me too, like, if you know anything about the Smashing Pumpkins now, like, he is like drugs are not part of their scene anymore, like,
no, they're all too old for that.
Well, no, but they all got clean. They all did whatever they had to do. And like they've been making really good music.
And I just thought about this. Their drummer really struggled with heroin for a really long time. He was out of the band because of his heroin addiction.
Oh, wow.
And he got clean and then rejoined the band years later. But I'm almost thinking, I wonder what he thinks about Billy Corgan using cocaine, as part of a segment on his wrestling show. I mean, I wouldn't appreciate it.
And you know what else is strange? Their guitarist just quit too.
Oh, no, he didn't. The guy from
not
LA?
James Eha, but the newer guy.
Oh,
yeah, he just quit like in the past couple of weeks. Which is just, it's just a bunch of weird little things that we're just speculating on. But like, it's like, I understand that some television shows have that kind of things happen, like storylines, but it's like, wrestling is not TV. It's not a TV show. It's not really. I mean, it's on TV. It's episodic, whatever. But it's not. I don't feel like you can get away with. I don't know.
It's not a fictional television program in a traditional sense. All right, I get where you're going now. Like, because I was going to say the NFL on CBS is a TV show. It's just a TV show that's a ball game. So, but you can't show illicit drug use on broadcast TV. It's just not allowed. You just can't do it.
Poor taste, because now everybody is very hyper aware of the drug issues that hound wrestlers. and former wrestlers and ones who died, even once they got clean, like they died a few years later because their hearts gave out. Like, this is such a weird thing to put into wrestling when you know there are so many wrestlers who struggle with some sort of addiction.
I'm glad you brought up that point, because that's what I was what we were talking about last week, how independent promoters that put all their matches behind paywalls and stuff, it really hurts the wrestlers. Okay, let's look at it from that perspective. Anybody that's at the Performance Center and that is on NXT is already getting plenty of exposure on the USA Network. If they move to a network, to the CW in 2025, which they're going to do, it's just going to increase their audience a little more, right? Maybe a lot more, because it's on, traditional over-the-air television. The wrestlers that need it are working in the NWA, and not many people except diehard wrestling fans know who they are. And if they could have got on broadcast television, that would have been a huge boost to all of them's careers and put a lot more eyeballs on that product. That's why I think this is so unfortunate. There's also the story going around that Billy Corgan financed a documentary that was also going to air on the CW, and now that's in jeopardy as well. So I don't know, Rick Diesel, it seems like a case of a lot of money getting pissed away real quick. Sorry for my language.
Speaking of money, my question is Smashing Pumpkins not on tour right now?
They just came off of one.
Are they on tour just because it's time, or is Billy Corgan needing money?
He doesn't need money.
They've done two big tours in the last 2 years, because we didn't go this year, but we went to the one last year.
Yeah,
so it's not something like he sunk so much money into the NWA, he's needing to get some finances back. Because he sunk a lot of money into it. They traveled a lot of towns. They just
came off a world tour with Porno for Pyros, and now they're
Wasn't Red Meat, was it?
No, it was with Jane's Addiction.
Jane's Addiction.
And
I thought the guy with Jane's Addiction was dead.
No, he got caught stealing.
He's
he's still with us. Okay, good. I'm glad. I like Jane's Addiction. When I saw them on the bill, I was like, "Wait a minute, is that the original members?"
And
as far as I know, I think it's the original lineup. As far as I know, I haven't looked into it.
Yeah, because we saw them in May of last year when they first started touring again, and then they did that kind of small tour, and then they did the big arena tours. I don't think he's hurting for money. Like, he just got married and had a big wedding.
Oh, but he's hurting for money.
And his wife is like a fashion designer, and they run like a restaurant, tea room, something store where they live in Illinois. And and I think they're working on a new, I don't think he hurt for money. I don't think he's one of those people that's like hurting. I think, I was thinking about back, because, he started his wrestling career with Impact or TNA. I don't remember.
I remember that, yeah.
Which one they were.
But that went to crap real quick. What caused that?
He had some really good, like, I was watching at that time, and I felt like it was doing really well, and I liked the storylines that they were coming up with. They were, not
it was like just creative,
but, not just your normal wrestling show. And then I don't know what happened, and
well, that went to crap. So he just bought the NWA, I'm assuming, because he got the bug. You know what happens when you get the bug, don't you?
I thought the pandemic was going to put them out of business. But what I don't get about the NWA now is when they started, they were doing the shows at the Georgia Public Broadcasting and had a studio full of people. And now when I see their clips, I have not watched an episode of Power in since before the pandemic. But like the highlights I see now, it looks like maybe about 6 or 12 people sitting around the ring in their studio program. And like they're going on all these places and putting 70, 80 people in the building, and they're going to Kansas City. They came to Winston-Salem. You know, I don't know what the deal is, because when they came down here and did the Crockett Cup, and even though at the time I think it was either Ring of Honor or somebody else produced the television for them to do the pay-per-view, but they almost filled up the Cabarrus Arena. You know, and that's no small venue. It'll seat probably 7,000, 8,000 people, you know, at full capacity for wrestling. And so I'm just kind of like, I'm surprised it's still going on. Is this just a publicity stunt to get people to watch? It sure feels like it.
Yeah.
You can spend publicity where it can't, any publicity to make it benefit you.
But yeah, I mean, that's why you do something like that. That's why you say, I want to do something controversial. You want to stir, you want to stir things up, and you want to get people talking. It's just, is it going to hurt you in the long run?
And you know, he I don't know if he readily admitted it, but it was pretty well known, it seemed like, on the rag sheets and stuff, you know, that the reason Brodus Clay or whatever, what was his name in NWA? Tyrus. Like, that's why he gave Tyrus the belt, because it was a controversial decision. And, you know, everybody, because I feel like, yes, there's a place for this kind of wrestling, you know, controversial, on the edge, doing crazy stuff. But that's not something you're going to see on broadcast television.
It ain't on the CW, that's for sure.
You know, like, you know, like, you have these organizations that are wild. And that's fine. I enjoy a product that's more adult. I mean, I do. I don't know that I agree with that type of what they did with, because AC's talking about it's not the worst thing people have ever done, because, you know, he's mentioning like you know, having Triple H with the corpse, and, you know, the hand birth and stuff. So it's not that it's that WWE hasn't done controversial stuff, and I don't know. I think I'm just bothered by what I had said about there's so many people in the industry who suffer from addiction, who've worked really hard to break that addiction and go on to be really good wrestlers or producers.
If it had been alcohol, it probably wouldn't have caused nowhere near the controversy.
Oh no.
No, and that's something WWE used a lot. I mean, they used that both with CM Punk, and they used it with Hawk. You know, so
that was in poor taste.
It was in very poor taste.
You know what? The one that was funny though, when you talk about alcohol use in wrestling, when Jerry Lawler beat up Jake the Snake and took that fifth of Jack Daniels and poured it down his throat. I still think that is hilarious, because if you know anything about Jake the Snake's personal life, that's probably not, you know, anywhere near the most humiliating thing ever done to him. So I don't know. I just thought the guy always crossed me as a sleaze bag when he came on TV. He's talking about Jesus and whatnot. And so, like, I really wanted every wrestler to kick his ass after that, you know. And to me, the Stone Cold at King of the Ring was awesome, but Jerry Lawler pouring Jack Daniels down his neck at SummerSlam was the payoff of that angle for me. So,
oh God, but when was that? I mean,
1996.
96. I mean, it's just, and like the thing, it's like, I don't know. I'm bothered by it. Maybe it's because I'm old now, and I'm like, but I like controversial stuff. I don't know. But
even controversial stuff, there's lines.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
But I still think the Triple H Katie Vick thing was worse than this, though. I mean, that was like, and for those of you who don't know, just put it in your Google machine, look up WWE Katie Vick, and you will see all the ugly details. Because I remember the night we watched that on Raw, I was at a friend's house, and we looked at each other after that segment and like, God, that was messed up.
Well, I was even creeped out when they did the storyline of him marrying, God, what the hell is wrong with my brain?
Stephanie.
He drugged Stephanie. while she was knocked out. Like, to
Yeah.
me, that's problematic.
Yeah, he slipped to her Mickey, and and that was controversial at the time too. We're not, guys, you got to understand, we're not holding stuff that happened 20 years ago to 2023 standards. When it happened, it caused a stir.
Mhm.
And so it's
Right.
it's never
How
been cool
about-
to drug a girl. And
How about Brian Pillman and the gun?
See, for some reason that didn't bother me because it looked so
Real?
no, it looked fake to me. It was just like, it's like, okay, what? How is there a whole camera crew here? And but I can see the shadow of the boom mic in the light, and I don't know. I just didn't buy it. I thought it was funny, because Brian Pillman jumped up on the couch and he's holding a gun with pistol with both hands, and he's like, "Come on, you son of a!" And then the picture goes out. I mean,
I just think there's some things that should just be left out.
yeah.
Especially stuff that's so, I don't like, this is going to sound really weird, and I don't really know how to explain it. When I watch wrestling, I want to suspend my disbelief, of course. I want to see interesting things. I do want to see, but I don't want like real life stuff that's really an issue, that's really a problem to come into my wrestling. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I was never a fan. We don't have to discuss it. I was never a fan of terrorist gimmicks either. I didn't like those either. I don't like real life scary things to come into what I watch for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. That might just be me.
Well, I have a line. You know what I'm saying? I have a line. Like I don't care for. I don't think it's appropriate to do drug use, but if you film guys in the back drinking, if it's storyline drinking, not real drinking, because that's what I'm saying. I mean, if it's storyline drinking, then okay. Or there's certain real life aspects that makes it more entertaining. But I think drug use should be a taboo that you don't deal with.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let me throw one at you. Years ago in WCW, in the dying days of WCW, this might have been one of the poison darts that killed it, but they ran an angle with Randy Savage and his valet where she was coming out there with a black eye, and they made it look like there was some kind of domestic abuse going on or whatever. But in the end, it was a ruse. It was just makeup, and she ended up turning on the good guy and helping Randy Savage win, and it had all been a ruse for all those weeks. Is that out of line? I thought it was at the time. I thought, man, you shouldn't make light.
She was a little mouthy.
But no, it's like,
well, I'm not saying she didn't have it coming, but I know what.
Which one was that?
It was the blonde, one of the
I can't
blondes.
think what her name
Frankenstein?
Make it Major Guns? Was
maybe,
she?
maybe it was. I don't know. I wasn't watching WCW at the time, but I remember that.
It should be innuendo. Like, that's what some things should be. It should be, I mean, we have a wrestler now that we do innuendo with THC. I mean, there's innuendo, but there's not an outright. Do you know what I'm saying?
I thought those were called vape pens. But
that's why I said it's innuendo. We don't know what's in it. We don't know what's in it. No, I'm just saying, because you think back, with just talking about with WCW, talking about with DDP and Kimberly when she was running, when they were doing the thing with Mark Marrow,
Johnny B. Bad,
the Johnny B. Bad, where he wasn't like she didn't come with the black eye, but it was very obvious that he was treating her very poorly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think you could do that. You could do that storyline without the actual physical abuse part. You can say that he's I mean, not that mental abuse isn't bad too, but you could have it to be where he's maybe not the nicest to her without actually implying that he's hitting her.
Yeah.
This is all heavy stuff.
Yeah, I know. I have a joke
about that because they'll jump guys in the back. They'll hit them with cars and chairs, and you know what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, it's a taboo subject.
It's different
but
if you're beating up a valet, like a little petite valet lady that never wrestles, or if you catch a woman wrestler with a short clothesline, that's different. You know, to me.
Well, maybe he caught her with a short clothesline.
Well, is she a wrestler?
And
or
just blacked her eye.
Well, clearly she doesn't listen. But I mean,
yeah, she's mouthy.
That's an old David Tell joke. That's an old David Tell joke. He's like, I was sitting in the bar one night and I looked across and I saw a girl with a black eye, and I thought to myself, great, she doesn't listen.
God, that's terrible.
But I mean,
you send your hate tweets to David
I know
Tell.
what you're saying, Matt, because that's that whole argument against intergender wrestling, saying that it promotes promotes domestic violence. And
how can you have one without
whatever
the other?
you think about intergender wrestling, that's not a good argument against that. That's not a good argument against intergender wrestling, because when you have two people who have decided to get in a ring and fight, that's a sport and they're competing against each other. But when you have somebody in the back who is smacking somebody around and controlling them with violence, whether it's a man and a woman, a man and another man, a woman and that's two completely different things.
Well, maybe she chose to get mouthy. Maybe she hit him first.
Oh God.
Maybe it was self-defense.
I'm not having this conversation.
I'm just saying,
It's off the rails, man. I told you when I stuttered in the first 30 seconds that this was going.
I mean, let's look at all sides of this.
Yeah, and guys, we're not making light of domestic violence, but there are some jokes involved, but we're trying to determine what's over the line and what's not over the line as far as what is in a wrestling show.
I think if it's something that is based on a power dynamic, that's what makes it problematic. If it is a man and a woman wrestling in a wrestling match, it is not problematic. It is because it's not a power issue. The issue with any kind of abuse is the power aspect of it. It's not the violence. It's not either one of them. It's like, I have the power, you don't, and I'm going to exert that power over you however I see fit, whether that be physical, emotional, the other kind. That's the dynamic. It's when you make it look like if it's somebody taking advantage of someone who is weaker or not as powerful, then that is an abuse storyline.
Hello. Hey, let me ask you a question. Now, wait a minute now. Y'all don't do that. I got to ask this. We're discussing black eyes on women in wrestling. Now, my thing is what if a guy had come out from backstage and he had a black eye because Nicole Bass slapped him around?
Then that's abuse.
She's dead. I know she's dead, but she should actually have done it.
That's abuse. If it's a power, you're listening to what I'm saying is the power dynamic. If she has power over somebody else and she's exerting that power on them by punching them in the face and giving them a black eye, then that is also problematic.
Yes, we're talking about a storyline that WCW done about
300 years ago.
300 years ago, and I think it was Randy Savage may have been abusing one of his.
Who was he talking to first of all?
Tim Dolan.
Oh.
What may be abusing one of his valets.
It's a double header tonight. Not only did Trista interrupt the show, but Tim keeps his streak interrupting the show.
We've had two interruptions in the show already this week.
Every Sunday.
Because I will not answer my phone.
Yeah.
I never answer my phone. So.
But I go back to my original question. What if Nicole Bass slapped I don't know, 1, 2, 3 kid. I don't know who she was in there with, but what if he come and the whole thing was, well, I mouthed off and she slapped me in the face.
That's abuse.
So it don't matter.
No, and you weren't listening to anything I was ranting about for the past 5
Probably
minutes.
not, but
Not
I mean,
listen to a word of what I said. A word of what I said. I said it's a power. I'm not going to go back over it. It's a power dynamic. Doesn't matter the sex, doesn't matter the gender, doesn't matter male, female, it does not matter.
Oh, try it again. I'm sorry. No, I agree, and I agree.
Chris Severn sent me a message.
W didn't matter. Now it does.
In the days of WCW, it didn't matter. Now it does. It's Tim's rebuttal.
I don't know about that. That was still the late 90s. Gorgeous George was the lady that Savage blacked her eye. Yeah, that was her name. Gorgeous George. That's according to.
Hey, did you call to answer my headphone question?
Go ahead, talk, Tim. You're on the air.
This is riveting. I'm so glad that we went from
the
podcast to just on the video.
I got wind of some complaining about our headphones at the show.
That was not me. That was not me. It was not me. It was.
And I was trying to figure out what would be some good headphones for Reagan so that she can be properly attired in the back.
Because one of our commentators is blowing out the mic every single time he yells into it. It's not you.
Well, you got to pull the levels back.
Yeah, and if I can learn how, and I do that.
The one that's doing it.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Tim's also going through a drive-through, by the way.
This is okay. Look,
he goes through a lot of drive-throughs.
I need to be shown exactly how to do the levels, because I do adjust the volume a lot of times. But if there was more of like an equalizer that I could,
hang on a minute, Tim. Say that again, Reagan.
Jesus Christ! Why are we doing this for the people?
I do it when he calls.
This show is fucking terrible. It's the only time I have
you two here together.
This show is fucking terrible right now. I'm just going to tell you that. I don't know why any of you out there in your right mind are watching this shit, because this is one of the worst ones we've ever done. You know. But
we had such a good intro.
I know it started off good
up until this point.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah. All right, look, I'll find out what we need. We'll talk about later.
Thank you.
There you go.
Because they're telling me I got to talk about wrestling.
It's not the conversation.
It's a wrestling show.
We lost one viewer over this.
Oh, okay. Well,
one person quit watching because of it.
Hey, that's pretty good.
We lost that one viewer because I dropped the F-bomb.
Where are we at?
All right, so
that I don't care about.
Drug use and
okay, what can we talk about now? I have to go get some more fruit punch. So you do what you got to do.
Yeah, let's talk about where, not that you'd want to now, but if you want to send birthday, anniversaries, announcements, or questions to the show, you can do so. Just send them to the email you see on your screen right now, Matt's new mailbox at yahoo.com. Matt's new mailbox at yahoo.com, but use the subject line AIWF Ringside, because I've had that email address for like 20 years. And if something comes that I don't recognize, I delete it. So make sure you use AIWF Ringside right there where the cursor is. AIWF Ringside. Don't forget to include pictures with your announcements. We'll put them up here, maybe at the live shows. Our new home for AIWF Network is, of course, on YouTube, along with the AIWF Network. It's this channel, AIWF Ringside Wrestling. You need to subscribe to them both, guys, because they've got a lot of the same stuff on them, but not everything. If you can see the whole deal with the Steel show on the AIWF Network, you see.
I found an obscure deal with the Steel today when I was looking through the archives.
Which one?
God, I can't. 14, I think it might have been.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
14. Is that the one where Ty Tyson got?
Yes, it was almost a murder scene.
Yes, I remember that. War Games, terrible.
Yes.
We'll update you when we find out the finals for the women's tournament. But of course, this Saturday is our big TV taping. I got to have a drink of water. Y'all talk.
Yeah, it's special bell time, 5 p.m. If you don't know, you must be under a rock, because it's all over everything we post. And I did a video of it, which had a lot of views for some reason.
They probably thought you were going to talk nonsense.
It's strange.
Hey.
The ones that get hits sometimes.
I will talk some nonsense.
Tickets are $6 for the floor, $4 for the bleachers. Woo-wee, man, practically giving them away. So it's Veterans Park this Saturday night at 5 p.m. right across the. We're going to film 3 TV shows, right?
Yes.
Indeed. Yes, we are.
All right. All right, let's
Tomorrow.
do premiered auto detailing real quick. Hands down, the best car cleaning service in town. Call 336-883-5722 for more information. Whether you've got an old car that needs cleaning up that you've just been neglecting. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a smoker. Or a fleet that needs cleaning, or you have a used car lot, or you got a bunch of trucks at your business, something like that. Give them a call. They can help you out. They serve the greater Mount Airy, Surry County area. Sure, if you pay them enough, they'll come out farther, but you give them a call, 336-883-5722. That's 336-883-5722. Be sure to tell them that we sent you. Tees Creations Custom Apparel. Yes, if you need custom-made t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, whatever, and their Christmas line is out. What is with Trista and them cows? She really likes those cow designs. I guess she makes. I don't know. She makes her living off their blood. So
I know. I just showed her an inflatable cow from Walmart that I hope she gets for Christmas.
Don't tempt her.
But as you can see, you can reach them at teescreations22.com. We've tried to jazz up the lettering because I realized today when I was looking at it, like, you can barely see that white, and plus it's Christmas time, so let's make it a little Christmassy, a little. teescreations22.com, Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook, and Tees Creations on TikTok. And you can visit them in all those places. You can contact them there at the website or on Facebook. They'll get back with you and help you out with whatever needs you have. teescreations22.com. We heard earlier, Trista is straightening up the t-shirt room, cleaning it up, getting it ready for the Christmas rush. So be sure that you reach out to Tees Creations and they can get you hooked up. And probably if you wanted something custom made, they could probably help you out with that too. But give them a yell. Tees Creations.
They've been known to do that.
Yes. Very, very fine sponsor. We're glad they're with us. All right. So
I have good news to share.
What's that?
I made a 4-peat for winning tickets to WrestleCade.
Yeah, I saw that online. I'm starting to think the fix is in on that one, man.
You are very popular down there.
Yeah, like Brian and Tracy see Reagan's name go on a hat, and they're just like, yep, there we go, 4 years in a row, you know.
4-peat, four years in a row.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
they had, you know what, though, Dory Funk Jr. canceled on them, though.
Dory Funk Jr. and then 2 people I'd never heard of. But everybody's having a cow because apparently Daniel Brunson is like legit hurt. And so they don't know if he's coming or not. So
did anybody research the 2 people we've never heard of that canceled?
No, because we didn't care.
I do usually research stuff, and I just didn't today.
Well, talking about Bryan Danielson, you know, it's kind of par for the course. That's what people do in AEW. They get hurt. And this is the second time for him.
They are a little reckless down there.
A little. Man, poor Moxley. It's a wonder he doesn't have in a wheelchair right now after what happened to him a few weeks ago. Go ahead, Reagan.
Speaking of, did you see the Ric Flair story about AEW?
Yes, I was going to bring that up. And so Ric Flair has signed with AEW. Rumor now, mind you, just rumor. And yes, is that he wants to have one more last match.
Well, and he has said
he's had 3.
He came out yesterday or the day before and said his doctors have cleared him to bump and they have cleared him to wrestle. So he has no plans to wrestle, but if anybody asks him, he will definitely do it.
He'll be ready.
He's been quoted as saying he wants to die in the ring, and I think he's determined to do that. We can only hope that it does not happen on TBS on a Wednesday night and kill the wrestling business with the Turner networks for another 20 years.
Right. That's my thing, is what a selfish thing to want. Like, you're going to, that's going to ruin wrestling. It's like, that may be how you want to go out, but it's just, it would be such a terrible thing for wrestling, for the entire wrestling world, for that to happen.
I just think about how terrible it was, because I watched the pay-per-view that Owen Hart died in.
Oh, so did I.
And it was, were you there with us that night at
No, I
Billy's
wasn't with
Meeting?
y'all, but I watched it. I called Billy when it happened.
That was one of the worst things but that was one of the worst things.
But
like
see, that didn't happen on screen though.
And no, it didn't happen on screen. The only other thing that happened that like was also really, really terrible is when Buff Bagwell broke his neck when he took that move from Rick Steiner. Like, that was terrifying to watch too. Like, I don't want to watch somebody get hurt like that or die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just that. What you're right. And AEW would lose that. I think they would be kicked off TBS if that happened.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, they are a tad reckless there.
And that makes me think we're going to see him wrestle.
Yeah. Did anybody watch?
Yeah, they'll do it.
Idea.
I ordered the Ric Flair's last match pay-per-view, and it was so cool because Bob Caudle did the introduction. Tony Schiavone and David Crockett were on commentary, and like the matches they had on the undercard, whoever the lead announcer was with whatever promotion, whether it was ROH or GCW or whatever, whoever the commentator was for that promotion would come out and join Tony and David. Because, David hadn't called a wrestling match in 40 years, right? And even when he did it all the time, people didn't think he was that good. I always enjoyed David because I just love it. Look at it, Tony. Look at it. Watch it. Watch it.
Yeah, he sounded like a fan.
He was so pro babyface, man.
Yes, he was. Well, Nikita Koloff almost took his head off one time for that. I found that episode of Worldwide. It's on YouTube. I can't remember the date, but I think it's sometime in June of '85, Worldwide Wrestling. And when it happens, you hear the thump and David goes down and the director switches back to the ring and it's like nobody knows what to do. It's just quiet. But no, that pay-per-view was nice just for nostalgia purposes, if nothing else, until Flair came out there. And then we find out later that he had been drinking all weekend. He was dehydrated. He passed out twice when he was in the ring. And it just felt like dirty. Like
whose opinion we need to get on this?
Yeah.
Little Don's. Little Don went.
He went?
Be Nice went, yes.
Oh, wow.
The show?
Yes, he was at the show. He had pretty good seats too.
Yeah.
He loves the Four Horsemen.
Makes me question who came up with the idea.
And he put me in one of the most painful figure fours one time at Billy's because I did this. And then he put me in a terrible, terrible figure four and about broke my legs. But yeah, he went. I would love to hear what he had to say about seeing it live. But I watched the video and I was just like, this is not the way to go out.
No.
No. Well, the guy that does Dutch Mantel's podcast did a little blurb on YouTube a few weeks ago when this thing first happened with Flair, and he made a statement that really makes me think, and I want your reaction to it. He said, since his official retirement in 2008, Ric Flair has done nothing but by his comments and his actions to do everything he can to tarnish the great legacy he built for so many years in the ring. And I think there's an element of truth to that, unfortunately. And Flair is my favorite of all time. But like when I watch him back in '86, I'm like, man, what happened to that guy? And I'm just talking about the way he carried himself, the way he talked, the way he acted like a champion in all ways. Even though he was a shit heel, still outside the ring, if a little kid walked up to him, he'd spend time with him, sign autographs, stuff like that. He acted like a champion outside the ring.
Well, I feel like that he does. He don't want to imagine a world of wrestling without him in it. And it's almost like he thinks, well, when I'm done, it just needs to stop.
I think his brain is not right anymore. I mean, after watching that cameo that we got, it was, and I showed you that cameo, Matt.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. How much did that cost?
Bad.
And that was $500.
What?
I wasn't gonna dox how much I didn't pay.
No.
I was just part of it. But yeah, that's how much it was.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
stay
good.
away from cameo kids. You're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I'd just get a hooker.
Well, it's a big long story about why we did that. So, but yeah, it was his brain. I guess he thinks he can still. Who told the story about when he came in drunk and this was going to be my match? And
It was Terry Taylor talking about complaining about he was wrestling Ric Flair and Flair came in staggering drunk, had to have people had to carry him in, and he was so mad because he was like, I'm supposed to wrestle this guy later. He's supposed to, this guy, he's supposed to be so great, and look at him, he can't even move right now. And then he was like, hey, get me a cup of black coffee. And he drank the coffee, and then when he came back, he had his robe on, his hair was perfect. And he said when after about 40 minutes of being in the ring with him, he was like, please, let's end it, please. Like Terry, he said he was just begging him. It's like, okay, I'm done, please. Like, and Flair was it just kept right on going. Just like he was just amazed at how well he could go. But yeah, he can't. That's what it is. Is Flair was at the top of his game for so long in his career, and he doesn't want to let go. And
for so long, this business revolved around him.
Right. And yeah, he was the king of the mountain, and he does not want to let go. But that's the thing. It's like, but like he's, like you were saying before about his legacy. It's like he doesn't care about his legacy anymore. He just he wants to scramble and do all these things to keep himself relevant, when what made him relevant before was his talent. But now he's just scrambling to do whatever he can to stay in the spotlight. And it's like Jake Roberts said, he was like, I still want to do it, but there came a point when I knew I couldn't do it anymore, and I didn't want to go out there and embarrass myself.
Oh, really?
So I didn't want to get to the point where I was embarrassing myself anymore. So, even though I still wanted to do it, I had to stop. And
he should have stopped about 6 months or a year before that Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view back in what, 99, 01. Have you guys ever heard about that? Reagan, if you like bad wrestling, oh boy, if you like bad wrestling.
He was so messed up doing that.
Oh.
But who do you blame? Who gets the blame? Who gets more of the blame? Flair for not letting go, or all these people who's paying him to not let him go? Like AEW, WWE. You know what I'm saying? For that one shot of bringing him out one more time just to feed that need he has. At what point do they stop doing that? Or do they just feel sorry for him because, hell, he might be broke?
You might be onto something there, Rick Diesel, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Ric Flair doesn't live in Charlotte no more.
He can't.
No, they come after him with hay forks and freaking torches, probably. Because of what I heard, but I ain't putting it out there on the air. But he lived in Atlanta for a while, and he ain't there no more. And he's out in Florida now. So is this the case of he going into places and running up a bunch of tabs all over town and then disappearing?
I don't know. And like I said, if everybody feels so sorry for him, then stop putting cameras in his face. Let him be an old man.
That's not the wrestling business either. I mean, that's not the wrestling business either. I mean, not the same. That it's just like rolling out Lex Luger now. I don't know if he's still in a wheelchair, but I remember going.
Nikita Koloff rolls him out there.
It was it's just that's the business now. It's like they're still paraded around, because there's still going to be people that want to see them. So as a business person, you're like, hey, people want to see Ric Flair. If Ric Flair wants to make that bad decision, It's not my responsibility because it's my business. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you take a look at Magnum TA. Now, here's another example of an older guy who, he got hurt. He hung around the business for several years helping Dusty, until like 91, 92. Then he disappeared, went into the private sector. Is a successful businessman here in Charlotte. But people started telling him about 10 years ago, when they started calling him up for these shoot interviews and stuff, like, dude, why aren't you making appearances at conventions? Nobody cares. Nah, dude, you really need to go to conventions. And when I saw him at that big time wrestling show down in Spartanburg last February, he had just as long a line as anybody. People want to still talk to him. And, he's sitting right there in his chair. You sit down next to him, take the picture, and he start talking to you. And he just, but Magnum looks like he's really enjoying that as much as the people are. Because when somebody starts talking about, man, I remember back in 85 when you was doing this, his eyes will get real big and he'll start telling, yeah, well, what we were trying to do was, and, as he's talking to the fan, you can tell he's like really into it. He's enjoying it. So,
well, yeah, I mean, that is a way that a wrestler, when you can't get in the ring anymore, you can still do conventions and or be a manager, be an on-screen personality, do things backstage. There are ways to still be a part of the show without being in the ring. But when you're not in the ring, you're not the center of attention.
Yeah.
And that's Ric Flair's problem. Ric Flair could just do the conventions. I mean, that would be a perfectly dignified and normal thing for for a retired wrestler to do, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to he still wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to be the guy in the ring.
And I'm a nobody. I mean, I'm a nobody.
We all are.
And
but my mama loves me.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know, Reagan gets right many people coming up to her shows going, oh, I want you on that show. She's
but this is the thing.
It's
I
weirdly
would love to step in the ring one more time. I would love to do one more thing. But I say all the time, if I took a bump, every single bone in my body would explode like a nuclear reaction. Like and so what I did is I adjusted, and because like when we were coming and we were just watching, like it broke my heart. Like I wanted to be a part of the show so bad, and it's just me and so and then
ego.
It is, and that's the thing. That's the thing with wrestling. Everybody that's in it, from Indy Joe to Ric Flair, we have an ego when it comes to wrestling.
Well, that's why
that's anybody in show business.
Yeah,
right.
Anybody.
That's why you do it.
Yeah,
that's why I see Jennifer Aniston's feet all the time on my Facebook page.
Wait, what?
With Jennifer Aniston's feet?
What? What was you talking about? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I never understood why Brad Pitt divorced her. She let him smoke in the house. I mean, what more could you ask for?
But like, like even I understand the want of, and I talked to some people. I just talked to somebody's kids at Autumn Leaves. I'm like, well, why don't they come watch the shows? And they're like, because he doesn't want to come watch. It hurts him to not be able to get in the ring. And I completely understand that. And I'm just Joe Nobody, but I evolved and I found out what I could do to help the show. So, and I've not, and so I stepped into a different kind of role. And that's just
you found a vacuum and you filled it very well.
Yes, incredibly well. Yeah.
Yes.
And and so now I do a little bit more on camera, but like my body could not take wrestling anymore. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to get in there and make myself look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
I just would not want to do it. Like, but I understand. And people say it all the time. It's like wrestling's in your blood. And if it's in your blood, you can't you can't get rid of it, and you always come back. You always come back.
Oh yeah. Well, after I'd been away for a few years, and then I got married, moved down here, and we came back, and I was just gonna watch the show, and then Ty was like, "Hey man, can you ring announce tonight? We really need some help." And I'm like, "Hey man, y'all always put me to work." And,
Yeah, I don't know.
But when I got that freaking microphone in my hand and spoke to that audience again for the first time in probably 4 or 5 years, all them old feelings came rushing back, and I've been coming back ever since. So
And look at us now.
and it's almost 10 years later.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure how we would be welcomed. So many years ago, I sent Rick a message. I was like, "We want to come watch. How much are the shows?" And he's like, "Just."
It ain't like I'd see you in Food Line and turn around and walk away.
No, and hey, me and you make eye contact, and I just,
Yeah.
Wait a minute. There's an inside joke here. Somebody see somebody
It is.
and run the other
It
way.
is.
It's
Tell
just
it.
somebody who used to come around a lot and then made bad decisions and now ignores everybody.
Oh, did this happen in Winston or Mount Airy?
That's Rick's answer. I don't know if we want to dox the person because they might cry.
Yeah, let's move away.
Okay.
Move
all
away,
right.
Matt. Move
All
away.
right. All right. I'll move
Move
on.
We'll tell you.
away.
Are you going to be there Saturday? We'll tell you Saturday.
Yeah.
No, I can't be there Saturday. It's a shoot job. This is our busy time of the year at AEP. So, Brian, you work in healthcare, well, you may not, but it's AEP for Medicare insurance. And so between October 15th and December 7th, my schedule doesn't allow me to do much. I'm lucky I've got time to come on here, honestly. So, but that's it. Sorry. See you on December.
Looks
Hopefully.
like Brian's going to be. Are you going to be announcing?
Yeah, I heard you did a great
It was
job ring
fun.
announcing, Brian. Thank you for covering on that. I heard a story is about why you felt the call to duty. And I thought that was hilarious. And so thank you.
We
for
love that. We love
but you know
everybody
what?
there.
But you know what?
What?
Brian stepped into another role that I have been watching the video now, because you've seen the teaser we put together and everything. So I'm like, he does really good.
Yeah.
Don't take that the wrong way, Matt.
Mm.
But you would be proud of your backup.
Well, the thing about Brian is he's such a Brit, and I'm not. All right. So before I start doing this, I am not the type to pump sunshine up nobody's butt just for the hell of it. But if somebody deserves a compliment, they deserve it. I've been working with Brian on commentary off and on for God, what it goes back to 2008, 2009, somewhere in there when when you first started doing comment. Brian's brilliant on color commentary. That's like when he and Reagan started coming back, I was just like, oh, we got to get Brian back behind the microphone, because I knew. And when he said he wanted to wrestle Ty Tyson, I'm like, oh man, no. And that was selfish of me because of being on the broadcast team. I wanted him behind the microphone. No, don't wrestle. You'll get hurt. Stay here. But so yeah, I'm glad you're back. So but anyway. So now that part of it's done, would y'all like to move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go and look at your phone, Matt.
I did.
Well, I sent a message
I did
that
it real
you
subtle.
did.
Thank you.
I also sent a message that hasn't been answered to Rick Diesel.
There's one. All right. So look, again, birthdays, anniversaries, or questions.
Oh.
Send them
here we go.
via email at Matt's new mailbox at yahoo.com. Matt's new mailbox.
It'll take a minute to explain. So
at yahoo.com. Use the subject line AIWF Ringside. Don't forget to include pictures on those announcements. So, if you want to announce a birthday, anniversary, or just send us a question. You don't have to send pictures with the questions, but we won't be mad at you if you do send a picture. But birthdays, anniversaries, we'd love for you to send a picture so we can put them up on the screen here.
not if you're in your birthday suit.
Yes, no nudes. Thank you. You can send those to my Twitter at Rick Diesel 247. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, you can.
All right. So it's the big one. The TV taping for Saturday, November 18th. Remember, guys, the special start time is 5 p.m. We're doing winter hours now. So Hey, but you know, I know some of you might be saying, well, that's dinner time. That's supper time. You know, I can't go to wrestling. Oh, yes, you can. Tease Treats will be there.
That's
You know,
right.
so we got your food covered, you know. So come on, you know, come on down to watch wrestling and come with an appetite. We got you covered, man. You're not.
Yes. And her prices are so reasonable. Everything about our money is our prices are reasonable.
Mhm.
So
Including our internet prices, free, no paywall. So,
Right.
but we do ask that you bring us $6 if you want to sit on the floor, $4 for the bleachers for the live event, because we got to pay to keep the lights on in that place. But
right.
but yeah, the special start time is at 5.
And we're hoping they'll save some of that money and get heat someday.
that would be
Yeah.
so nice. Man,
Hey, after 20 years, we got a roof, baby.
I know we got a room. All right. So another great sponsor we have is Branch Management. They were our first sponsor, and they're the oldest child. And any of you that have siblings know that your parents love the oldest child best. And they can handle pretty much
That's why I had mine first.
lawn, lawn care, pressure washing, general contract, gutter cleaning, and you know, will they do leaf cleanup, Rick Diesel?
Yeah. Got some coming up this Friday.
Awesome. So give them a call, 336-648-2487.
They'll wash your dog, man. If
They'll
one
wash
is
your,
right.
one is right. They'll wash your dog. 336-648-2487. Now they won't hit the poor doggy with the pressure washer, will they?
No.
If it's vicious, they will. If it's one of those mean dogs that's been on a chain for 10 years. No, I'm just kidding. They won't pressure wash your dog. 336-648-2487. That is Branch Management. Oh, they don't cancel after tonight. I'll be surprised. Tease Treats, we're just talking about them. Not only do they come to the Mid Atlantic shows, they move around all different places, festivals, concerts, athletic tournaments, whatever, and especially wrestling. You can reach out to them at 336-755-8204. Great pizza, delicious dogs, decadent desserts, and they got the mini donuts, just all kinds of nice things. Everybody, tell me what I'll go first. Tell me what your favorite menu item is of Tease Treats. Mine is the hot dog. Hot dog with chili, mustard, ketchup, and chili. That's mine.
mine is the deep fried cheesecake and the chicken tenders.
See, I like taking the chicken tenders and putting fries on top of them in the same container and then mixing ranch and ketchup in with them. And then put a little chili on top.
She has really good fries too.
Yes.
I have not had the fries.
Oh my God. You got to get the fries. I haven't yet had a hamburger. Somebody said that when Rick was doing the building for that he had a really good hamburger. So
yeah, well, we only have the hamburgers when we had the building open because we took the grill out of the truck to make room for all the other the more fattening stuff.
Oh, okay. So send that diabetes into overdrive, friends, with Tease Treats.
Ain't right, buddy.
take your shot and come and eat.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. All right. So that's all the sponsor reads we got for tonight. I think we've
Good. Let's take this thing off the rails now.
All right. Well, let's see.
Somebody did say they liked it when we go off the rails. And
Exactly.
All right.
Even when Matt fusses at me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get hot every now and then. It just happens.
I'm usually the one that turns the steering wheel toward the ditch.
That's all right. That's why I ask you to be on here, because when you're not on here, I'm not saying it's dull when it's just me, Brian, and Reagan.
But it's pretty dull.
But yeah, it's not as enlightening. I'd like to touch on
I
something.
do have a question real quick.
Okay.
Is Mandy Rose the one we were talking about that had the OnlyFans now that makes so much money?
Yes.
She's gonna be at
She won't send me no pictures to my
She's going to be at
Instagram
WrestleCade.
Is she?
Huh?
Yes, she is.
Is she just appeared in a motel room?
She's there putting over her OnlyFans.
Come see Mandy Rose at the Marriott.
Room
Room 1216.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, me. So I was like to talk about something kind of big, at least big to me, and that happened. A couple of weird things happened. I don't know if I told you, but
Talk about Mandy Rose's butt.
Dr.
Bill.
Had
the pictures in the pool.
Yeah, Dr. Bill reached out to me randomly.
Ooh.
Really?
When we chatted. Yeah, he's living down in Raleigh now. And so that's what he told me. He was living in Raleigh.
I'd love to get him on here. Why won't he
I
come on
keep
here
trying.
with us just once?
We talk every once in a while, and we usually see him at Halloween. And I keep telling him we got to get you on here. We got to get you on here, but he works a weird schedule, I think. So
yeah. Well, he's always been kind of a recluse anyway. So
oh yeah,
yeah.
Is he still doing the same thing, shoot job, just in a different place?
yeah. He's a travel whatever he does.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
yeah.
They say them travelers make money if that's in that job.
Yeah. Well,
You don't know what he does, do you?
He's
man?
not,
no.
oh,
He told me, but
I know what he does. He's
Well, I mean, I don't know if we need to say, so that'll be
No.
another message.
No, it's
All right.
nobody's business what he does for a
no,
living.
but
Reagan sent you a message. She'd explain it better than I can.
Yeah, well, he told me, but I was just like, oh, okay, that was cool. Because he was messaging me while I was actually working. And so I was just kind of like, hey, man, good to hear from you too. And I'd put down the phone and ping, 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 ping. And then I'd.
yeah, when he
answer.
gets chatty, he gets chatty.
But
For,
yeah,
about 30 minutes, and then you don't hear from him again for 2 years.
But he's not as
I was going to say
reclusive-
10 years.
That's what I mean. But me, it's a couple of years.
He's not as reclusive as other people that you see in the store.
Food line.
Who's more reclusive than him? There's an inside joke going on here, man. They're not letting me in on it. Anyway,
because
As we gazed at each other over the bananas.
just
right.
think of some people that were around for a really long time, did a really good job at what he was doing, and then just disappeared with no trace.
Owing me money.
Oh, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Ah! Maybe you think I see him food line. I don't go there very often.
Well, but see, here's the thing. Dr. Bill's not reclusive because he owes people money or anything like that.
No, he's
not as
just
far as I
reclusive.
know.
No.
But, and
Well,
he's
not
just-
well. I don't know who he. I'm not gonna get in that.
he just don't.
conversation
He's just not.
for my friend's sake.
Yeah, he's just not.
As
one of
God is my witness, and Cut will make it to the YouTube channel. Yes, it will.
No.
Yes, it will. Listen,
tell
I
you-
need everybody out there to start a petition. I want people sending in and Cut. I don't care if it's the worst movie ever made. It needs to be on the network. We need to be flooded with people requesting it. No, dare I say, demanding it.
I'm gonna get with Corey Etzel's lawyers and do a cease and desist if that happens. No.
All I care about is seeing Dr. Bill go,
Brian cusses a lot in that movie.
Well, you could just show that clip.
That and the one of Kevin when he opens up the door to the refrigerator. Excuse me? Excuse me? Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it's
is.
coming soon to the AIWF Network.
No.
And Cut.
No.
Well, let's see here. Has
And
anybody
the party tent. Everything got the party tent.
Has anybody
Help.
watched?
Help.
Anybody watched any modern wrestling this week?
I watch clips.
All right.
I know. They tell us to watch it because in our little thing it says we talked about AEW and NWA extensively for the first hour.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
did.
held
We
up
did.
to our end of the bargain.
Yeah, we did. I just wanted to touch base on a couple of
So,
big things.
Vince McMahon selling 8 million shares of stock, Matt.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think about that?
I did. Did you read the thing about the not threat analysis? So TKO did a analysis of things that might cause them issues, and one of the number one things was him on the board.
Vince.
And then
Yes.
and then he just is selling all those shares.
Because he's Ric Flair North.
Yeah,
He don't want to let it go. He's
Yeah,
got his
brother.
wrinkly old skeleton hands dug into that thing. He's like,
Oh.
you ain't getting rid of me like that.
I got a joke,
But
but I'm not going
man,
to tell
you-
it because it'll get us sued. Because it's real edgy.
You know, I looked at those pictures of him and the Undertaker at whatever thing they were at, and he looked terrible.
Well,
Was
he's
that real?
old. He's like 81 years old.
I mean, is he really on a cane? Is that real, or somebody just?
Yeah, because didn't he have back surgery or something?
Yeah, he's recently had some back or neck surgery that it's
so
been
it could
needed
be
for
just
years.
a temporary thing. The cane.
Yes.
The talk on the internets is that he's going to sell all this and then go buy AEW and show up there, which I think is people just,
wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking. But
Tony Khan's never going to sell that.
No.
He'd be a partner in AIWF. We don't care. Come on down. I had a dream one time.
He won't even have to pay me for the harassment that he can give me. So go ahead, give us the money in AIWF, and I'll take one for the team.
All we need is Reagan take one limousine ride with him, and we're set for life.
Oh my God, Tony! Tony, you got your own problems. You fix AEW, get that to where it's profitable, and then maybe we can talk. But
we just
handle your business at home, my friend.
I just perpetrated that I would be a whore for that.
Yeah, sure did. That's why I'm moving on. SmackDown.
You can get our own TV deal. Reagan, you
SmackDown. SmackDown was good this Friday.
That's what she'll be doing to Vince's hand, smacking it down.
But I did see that. I assume Nick Aldis. I say his last name.
Aldis.
He seems to be really over as the GM.
Well, yeah, he is. But him and Adam Pearce. This is such a funny thing about Aldis and Adam Pearce. They're both former NWA world champions, never wrestled in the WWE, but everybody knows who the hell they are. All the hardcore wrestling fans, and it's not hard when you're in a WWE audience if you get somebody that's like, hey, who's that? You go, oh man, in the NWA like about 10 years ago, Adam Pearce was the man, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, like that, and they're 100% behind them. So. Aldis is like really over with the WWE fans, and him and Adam Pearce has been there for a while now. But like when Aldis came out there that first night, I almost jumped out of my chair. I'm like, oh my God, hell has froze over. Nick Aldis is in WWE, and he still looks like he could go. I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever seen him wrestle in like a main event type match before. The boy is good. Real good.
He is really good. And he's got the look, like he's just a good package. Like he looks good. Like he is a good wrestler. Is he hurt? I don't know. I don't follow it up. Is he hurt? Or is he just, they just brought him in?
I think he's just, they wanted him for his knowledge more than his ring presence.
And when he was NWA champion, he was so good because even if people were booing him and everything, he still carried himself like in a suit, professional, like we were just talking about how Flair was in the 80s. Nick Aldis was that kind of a champion. Like, even if he was a terrible bad guy, everybody froze. So it must be.
Is that ours or Matt?
It's mine. I just got a message.
You okay?
Yeah. Just had a stroke. Call 911. Am I back now?
I have a theory.
Yes,
you're back.
Okay.
I have a theory. I think if you've held major titles before you went to the WWE, they're more reluctant to push you.
I would agree. They're always hesitant about anybody that's not homemade.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're really in. It took them a really long time to start pushing Bobby Roode a lot.
Because it's like if you have been a major, I don't know so much about major stars, but if you've held major titles in other areas, it's like they don't want you coming in and making their champions look bad. Like winning a title there would mean that company was better or something. I don't know.
Because they still want to put. I mean, I don't know if they still do this, but in the past, they still wanted to take those champions from other smaller organizations and put them through NXT.
Yeah. I think that's smacking around too.
That's why James Storm didn't like, I think he was unhappy that he was being treated like a noob, like a
trainee.
Yeah.
Well, if you go down there, that's what you're going to be. You are noob to them.
And I don't agree with that because I think there are, but but it's a different world. Like, I can see why you would have to go and learn the WWE way of working a match.
Yeah, they have their own style.
Because it's a lot different than just working a match at Impact or NWA. Because there's so many rules and regulations about what can be done, what moves can be done, what can be said, what can't be said. Have they even gone back to calling them? I don't know. This is my ignorance, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Are they still not calling them wrestlers in WWE?
Call them superstars still.
Yeah, they still call them superstars.
It was a big deal because somebody referred to somebody as a wrestler, and they're like, oh.
Well, when Vince was there, that was off limits, saying pro wrestling.
When was the last time somebody come into WWE without going through NXT first?
Aldis. I mean, because he went right to the general manager of SmackDown.
But I mean,
what about Logan
in-ring
Paul?
talent?
Yeah, Logan Paul.
Who saved Rey Mysterio's life?
Yeah.
Well,
he
you know what?
He
was too far back. He was too far back, but he still caught him, and that's what they.
They still trained him though. They still run him through developmental. They just not on TV.
I
mean, who came from another company or off the indies and went straight to the main roster? When was the last time that happened?
I don't know, because even Samoa Joe went to NXT first.
Yeah.
Johnny.
I don't think you can make it to the main roster in WWE anymore without going through NXT first.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, Chris Severn just texted me and said AJ Styles went straight to the main roster, and he is correct.
But that was a lot of years ago.
It was, and also they made a big deal about the fact that AJ Styles has been all over the world. So it's almost like he's not just he's just not the Impact guy. He is wrestling all over the world. And so I think, Rick, like you were saying about how they don't want somebody coming in that had held a title in one of the other promotions and come in the main roster and start beating guys. I think that's one of the reasons they do that. They put them in NXT, and then that way they can say, well, yeah, they're good, but it's because they came from here and then went to NXT. We made them good in NXT. Now they're ready for the main roster.
Well,
it's almost like they have to beat them down to build them up.
Right. It's like there are guys who could go straight from AEW to WWE main roster, but it's almost like WWE has to go through the motions of putting them on NXT to say, well, we're really the ones who made them a star.
Yeah.
Well, and Triple H said years ago, he was like, when they were talking about, somebody asked him about just that. And he was saying, okay, he said, yeah, these other places, that's all wrestling too. And that's what we do here. But look like it as we were with the NFL, right? All right, you play for the Bengals, but then you come to play for the Patriots, right? It's still football, but we just want you to use our playbook, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the way Triple H explained it. Speaking of NXT, a lot of my favorite people are all together in one faction now. Do you have any idea who I'm talking about? This might shock you, but it might not. This is the new Damage Control. This is Bailey's group.
Oh, I saw this picture.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Io Sky is the women's champion, right? She came from NXT. Bailey came from NXT. Dakota Kai came from NXT. Kairi Sane recently returned to this country. She was in NXT. And of course, Asuka ran NXT for a while, for 2 or 3 years. And so they're all together.
Is that one on the far side of her, not Asuka, but is that pirate?
Yes, the Pirate Princess. Yes.
Okay.
You know why? You know why they call her that, right? She was on the sailing team in college back in Japan.
Okay.
And so that's how she got hung with the Pirate Princess, And yeah, before she left the last time, she had the worst music. She had this great, when she was in NXT, had this great, I don't know, it sounded like a sea voyage music, real majestic and everything. And then when they started calling her the Pirate Princess, all of a sudden she gets new music, and it goes like this: yo ho, like the hokiest.
I'd be mad if they called me a hoe.
Mm.
I mean, it was terrible. But anyway, I don't know. I think they're going to turn on Bailey, honestly, because she's caused Io to lose a couple of matches. And I'm thinking, yeah, because I mean, you like Io, Asuka, Kairi Sane, they've all got history together. Io and Dakota Kai were tag team champions together. You know, which one of these things doesn't match? And it's Bailey. And I think,
Mhm.
Well, you can tell that by looking at the picture.
yeah. Well, I mean, Dakota Kai is from Australia, I think. Australia or New Zealand one. The other three are Japanese. Bailey's an American. So, yeah, but I don't know. I'm getting these messages, Reagan. But
Speaking of Japan, have you seen this video of Chris Jericho in Japan with
Was that a sushi bar?
No, but we're going to take a look at it.
It's really good. It's really good. I don't think there's anything copyright. I sent you I don't think we can show the women's video for Doja Cat. We might get hit for that, but I didn't know if you.
No, we're not going. No, we won't be playing no Doja Cat. Yeah,
they got fun out of everything.
I do like Say So though. That is an awesome song.
But the video is really of the women from AEW is really good. It's a good video. But anyway, the Chris Jericho thing is really good. I meant to say
Britt Baker and her 15 times she's had her nose broken. Poor girl.
Poor girl.
Let's see.
But they just, I don't care how many times they break her nose, they just cannot make her ugly.
No.
No matter how hard they try.
Let's see here. I'm getting into Facebook. Just give me a second.
But it's a really good video. It's called Paint the Town Red. And it's Saraya and her and Ruby Riot or whatever she goes by there. And it's really a good one. I like it. I enjoyed watching it. But this Chris Jericho, I meant to send this before and I forgot. But Chris Jericho, it's so funny because like we were watching Smoky Mountain tonight and it was the Thrill Seekers, like when they first came on, and they did this video package of them playing like video games and bungee jumping and like cars. It was so funny.
It looks like they took them to Gatlinburg and shot all that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, Chris Jericho is just fantastic. Like everything he does is just fantastic. Like he's funny, he's intense. Like he can do both. Like a lot of times you'll see wrestlers who can't do intense and funny, and I think he can do both. And whether or not people think he's over his prime or not, I don't know if I agree with that. But I found this video from Japan that was from a couple of days ago that was really good.
Holy crap.
I watched Memphis from 1980. And Wayne Ferris and the guy that become one of the Moondogs. I can't think of his freaking name. Anyway, I might have seen the beginning of something in 1980. They attacked Robert Gibson and hit him in the face with a helmet. And one of the people that came to save Robert was Ricky Morton.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Was Ricky
never had them do anything with each other. But he was one of the guys that come and helped Robert Gibson and carried him out to the back.
Well, I think
I'm interested now because they may be going to start something here that might have made history.
I think you're on to something, Rick Diesel, because my understanding is the actual first time that Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson teamed up was in fact in Memphis. And it was in a 6-man with Ricky Gibson, Robert Gibson, and Ricky Morton against 3 opponents. It's to settle some sort of feud. So I think you're right. We'll see. Continue your film study and let us know. Here is the video that Reagan sent us. Can you see it?
Yes.
TikTok. Let's check this out.
What is he attacking a church?
Yeah,
Get out of the way!
Okay.
That was a teaser for a match.
Yeah.
See, that's good.
No, I agree. But then again, wrestling is different in Japan, you know.
I know.
But
they're not as sensitive as Americans.
Yes.
They'll be fine. They'll just be like,
what I liked about it was like when I first started watching it, I was like, is this him like really pitching a fit somewhere? And then I kept watching. I was like, wow. And the fact that he can push the camera like that is just, Like he would be sued here.
Well, that's like watching old stuff from the 90s in Japan, like Leatherface. He would like go through the crowd with the chainsaw and just like chasing people around and pushing them. A lot of guys did that.
You can't do that nowadays. I'm really kind of, they keep talking about climate change. I'm really kind of hoping that everything will warm up and melt off all the snowflakes.
No, they ain't never going away. Not with Twitter at their.
Oh Lord!
Off the rails.
But I just, oh
man, why don't you just put a disclaimer right here in front of me?
Because I don't know how.
Do I need to make you a lower third to do not listen to Rick Diesel?
No, I wouldn't do
if
that.
Y'all will make me a sign, or I'll make me a sign that says disclaimer. Y'all tell me what to put on it, and I'll just raise it up every time. And then
I've sent you the screenshot of Google's rules for YouTube. You know what to put on there. But
like I read them.
well, you got them.
I got them.
What was I going to say? Oh, I saw a video come across Twitter this week talking about Japan. This is back in the 80s. Stan Hansen comes to the ring with a bull whip in his hand and just goes right past the ring into ringside and starts beating a fan. I mean, he hits him with the rope and the fan goes down and he just wailing on him. And I'm like, wow.
The good old days.
Oh man. If you're anybody, if you're ever planning on going to Japan and watch wrestling, don't pay for ringside seats because you might get more involved than you want to be.
And carry your balls with you. You might need them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That goes for you women too.
I don't know. I've only
I
been
don't
through
even know
an
what to say
airport.
about that one.
Well, I mean, just buck up.
Yeah, the Japanese are tough people.
Different over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
If you like fresh seafood, you'll probably dig it. Anyways, I don't know. I don't have any more topics that I want to go over. I think we hit all the main points of all the big stories going on in wrestling this week.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Diesel has a snow globe there, I believe. You want to show that to the audience? Or?
That's
it's a thing of freaking paper clips. You were shaking it. You were shaking it like a snow globe. So I was like, well, getting the Christmas decorations out.
Oh.
I know Trista's already decorated.
God bless.
I know, okay,
No. I can't walk in
so
our house now.
I was driving by some stuff and I was like, is that, I can say that for because you said, I was like, is that fucking Christmas decorations? It was just Halloween. And then I said to Brian, can we put ours up? And he bust out laughing like I had said the most insane thing ever.
Well, I am an early Christmas decoration proponent for one reason and one reason only. I am lazy. And we have a shitload of stuff that we have to put up. And so if I'm going to do all that work, I want to be able to enjoy those lights for like 2 months. And so that Christmas stuff's right here in this closet. I might start dragging them out tomorrow.
Hey, if it wasn't for Ginger, our kids would come to a bear house at my place.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of September or May.
Yeah. Or just leave them up all year. That's the easiest way to do it.
We just got our Halloween stuff down.
I opened that closet door and it bumped that set, and I think my little set behind me is about to fall on my head. So we're going to get out of here.
That's entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, it's always fun to watch somebody get hurt. But
are you in a closet doing this show?
Hmm?
Are you in a closet now?
No, I'm in an office right now, but there's a closet in the office that's right within arm's length. And I said my Christmas decorations are right here. So
I'll show you what I got in arm's length.
I don't really want to know.
Look, it's the head of Ricky the Ring Rat.
Ricky the Ring Rat.
What?
What is that?
Flosine. What's Flosine?
That's cotton candy sugar.
Are y'all gonna start?
Look, I'm James Mitchell.
That's just going too far.
Oh no! What about that?
He's going too far.
And you wonder why I'm crazy?
All that confectionery sugar. My God. Oh, the humanity. This is worse than the turkey drop on WKRP. Oh, the humanity. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, guys?
Well, we come to the TV tapings.
Mm-hmm.
The TV tapings are always fun.
Always.
You never know what's going to go on. You don't know who's going to show up. You don't know, what, it's
If you bring a sign, we might
oh
bring
yeah,
a sign.
bring a sign. I'll get you on.
Act crazy, because if you'll notice, we have started putting on our Instagram and our TikTok, like stuff, shots of the fans doing crazy
Yeah, because
stuff.
I always try to get a shot of the fans, like when they're doing, like when Buddy Flowers comes out, and you got all those kids singing that song, and
Hot song.
and who's somebody else gets a good. I don't remember. I have very bad memory.
Something does not feel right about children singing that Afro Man song. I don't know. Something about that bothers me.
It's innocent because they don't know what it means. So
Yeah,
that's what makes it okay.
It's funny, but it's also kind of like weird and sad at the same time. Just like the song. Because if you've ever listened to the whole song, it starts out funny, and by the end you feel bad for the guy.
I don't know that I've ever heard the whole song.
Oh yeah, it's bad. I think the last line is, "I messed up my entire life because I got high."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, see, I can sing it, and that won't pop anything. It's just if I play
But
it.
I don't know. I think the TV tapings are always fun.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, unpredictable, and you get a preview. You get to see what's going to be on TV before anybody else.
Right.
That's right.
And you just don't ever know what's going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
And as somebody who has messed up sometimes, there might be things that happen that you never see or never hear from again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Or there may be something that's we deem too controversial for TV, and cut it out.
That's awesome.
You just never know.
or if Corey Edsel's lawyers say we can't show something, who knows?
Oh yeah.
Or our friends at Google who are, really watching us these days. Thank you. All right. So I guess that will about wrap it up for us this week. Another great edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. We'll be back here next Sunday night, same bat time, same bat channel, right here on Facebook and YouTube. And we'll be talking all about the crazy action at the TV taping. But we're not going to have any footage to show you. So you got to come to the show to see what's going to happen. And remember, special bell time, 5 p.m. Be there early. All right.
Get out. Get out. You get home in time to, I don't know, whatever you do at home when you get home after a wrestling show.
You got more time for that.
You got more time.
Whatever it is, you're gonna have time.
Whatever it is, you got time to do it. Can't say, "Oh, it's too late. I'm tired."
Yeah.
Sweaty men rolling around, and
Or is my shirt? Well, Matt, were you there for my shirt? My big meaty men slapping meat shirt.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, hopefully you'll come. I have a shirt that says meaty men slapping meat.
We're not seeing Matt no more till after Christmas, but
Is that
that's
what it
okay.
Yeah, well, hopefully
He'll be back.
Yes, I'm
for the
hoping.
new year.
Yes, I'm hoping that I can come to the Christmas New Year's / show. So, fingers crossed. Anyway, let's get out of here. We've been going for quite a while now. Thank you for joining us. How many viewers do we have right now on Facebook? Can somebody look?
6, which isn't bad for 18 when we've been talking crazy.
No, cool beans. Thanks.
Yeah, but we do our best numbers afterwards.
right.
Well, it's hard to watch live.
Yeah.
I mean, on a Sunday.
People like to watch us. They like to take us in, moderation.
Who can blame them? Oh.
Man, this is what gets rid of my son.
Hey, you would miss me if I was gone.
Yes,
We
we said that we
do.
established that earlier. The show's kind of dull when you're not
Except for when you answer the telephone.
here.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't help it.
We
They
can't.
know
Yes, you
not
can.
to call. You know good and well they're calling. They know. We've
Is
been
there
doing
not
this show
some
for
way to-
2 years. They know when to call and when not to, just to get on here.
No,
They're
they
not
don't.
stupid.
If they did,
We need to
if
get
they-
some kind of thing that.
No, go ahead.
Did Matt? Is that me or Matt?
Oh, Matt froze up again.
Oh, sorry, guys. Go ahead,
Oh,
Reagan.
Matt's frozen again. You're gonna have to get that internet fixed for work.
My wife's probably streaming a damn
Well.
movie. Yeah, see, y'all are fine. I can still see y'all as clear as a bell.
Oh, it's usually us. It's usually our internet.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us this week. Matt's getting ready to take us on out of here, and
come to wrestling next Saturday.
As always, he'll see you at the matches.
Yeah. And until next time, so long for now. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.